Hello, God bless you for taking the time to watch this video. I'm doing a series on delay, and last week I posted a video and I talked about delay. We all go through delays, and what is important is how do we react when there's a delay. And I talked about the fact that usually when there's a delay, fear sets in, we get afraid, and there's also pressure from people when there's a delay, and also we become so anxious, anxiety, and then doubt also sets in. And today I want us to look at a case study in the Bible where, because of delay, there was fear and pressure, and caused somebody to do what he's not supposed to. When you read 1 Samuel chapter 13 from verse 5 to 12, I'm not going to read that, please just read it when you get a time. 1 Samuel 13, 5 to 12. We are told that the Israelites were going to fight their enemies, and when they camped around there, the enemies outnumbered them, and so the Israelites were afraid, and they were hiding in caves and all that. And at that time, King Saul himself was at Gilgal, and Samuel had told him he was going to be there in 7 days. And after 7 days, on the 7th day, Samuel didn't come. So Saul felt that there was a delay because Samuel was not there. The people began to put pressure on Samuel. They were afraid. They started to walk away. They began to dismiss. They were scattering because Samuel had not come and their enemies were there. So they were afraid. They were putting pressure on, Saul. They were putting pressure on Saul to do something because Samuel had not come. So Saul decided to offer the burnt sacrifice. But here is the thing. Saul knew very well that he was not supposed to offer the sacrifice because it was not in his place to do that. It was Samuel who was qualified, who was anointed, who was the one supposed to offer the sacrifice. But because there was a delay and there was pressure, he decided to do it. And we all know the story. He lost his kingship. The kingship was gone from not only Saul, but all his descendants. The kingship was taken away from him. And now I want us to just look at a few things from these studies, and then I pray that we'll learn something. The first thing I see here says that the people were afraid. When you read the scripture, it says that the people were afraid when they saw that Samuel had not come and their enemies were out many. They were afraid. Now, fear is something that can actually force you to do things that you are not supposed to do. Anytime you act out of fear, you are in fear and you do something, there's a likelihood that what you are doing might not be right, because fear is not of God. The Bible says that for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love, of power, and of sound mind. Fear can be very contagious. You know, when you have people around you who are fearful and they are shouting and they are screaming and they are saying negative things, you are likely, also to be afraid. So the people began to fear, and they began to, I'm sure, murmuring, they began to scream, they began to shout, they began to talk, they began to jump. And that fear gripped Saul, and was kind of a pressure. And Saul was forced to take action. But the thing is that Saul was the king, the leader, and was supposed to know better. He was supposed to know that he was not supposed to sacrifice no matter the pressure that was coming. He should have stood his ground to say that, no, I'm waiting for Samuel. But he succumbed to the pressure of the people. He succumbed to the fear that the people put on him, and he did what he was not supposed to do. As leaders, you might be a mother, a father, a pastor, a teacher. We are all leaders in one way or the other, in our own capacity. You can be a church leader, a choir leader, or whatever. Anytime there is fear, there's a situation, there's a delay, there's a problem, there's a challenge, and we see that the people we are leading are afraid, and they are causing us to also have the same feeling, fear. We have to know that, we have to know better, because if they put fear in us and forces us, and then the fear forces us to do something we are not supposed to do, guess what? We will be held accountable. We will be held responsible. When Saul went ahead and sacrificed when he was not supposed to sacrifice, it was Saul who suffered the punishment. He lost his kingship. The people who were afraid and who put fear in Saul, they went. but he. So we, the leaders, we have to understand that we wouldn't allow our children. Sometimes our children will pester us. They need something, and we say no. They will come back. But mommy this, and they say no. They will come back. At a point, they keep doing it, and then you feel like just giving in. And that's what exactly happened. Fear caused Saul, to do what he was not supposed to do, and it cost him a lot. The other thing I picked from this scripture is the fact that I said that people began to scatter, that people began to move away, that people began to disperse. It was just a kind of a demonstration. We want Saul to offer the sacrifice so that we can start the battle, because our enemies are coming. We don't want to be taken unawares. So if he's not doing it, you know what? Let's go. Let's disperse. Let's go away. So it was a way of telling Saul that if you are not going to take action, we are going to leave you alone. And that was something that he could not take. They began to scatter. So they kind of put pressure on him. And so Saul gave in, and he decided to do it. And I call this the pressure of the people. People will put pressure on you when they know you are going through, you have a delay, maybe you are not yet married. They will come ask him, why are you not yet married? When are you getting married? All your friends are married. That is pressure. You marry, and they begin to calculate a calendar for you. You still don't have a child. You are still not pregnant. They are putting pressure, unnecessary pressure. Why are you not working? Why are you not this? I mean, they make you feel like you have to do something. And that's exactly what they did. They were telling Saul indirectly that, you know what, you're going to do something. It was the pressure of the people, and that compelled Saul to offer the sacrifice, which landed him in a serious trouble. And another thing I see here, it says that Saul waited 7 days, the time set by Samuel. He waited 7 days. And this is very interesting, because he waited 7 days because Samuel had told him he was going to come within 7 days. So when the 7 day elapsed and Samuel had not come, Saul considered it a delay. A delay because Samuel is supposed to be here, he's not here. And immediately they began to be afraid. They were afraid. They began to complain. They were anxious. Saul is not here to sacrifice, and it is the 7th day. The question is, if Samuel had told Saul that he was going to come in 1 month's time, after 1 week, when Saul was not there, what were they going to do? They were not going to feel the same way. They were not going to feel anxious and afraid and worried, because Saul said he's coming in a month's time. So after 1 week, despite what was going on, they would have waited. They would have been calm that, let's wait. Saul is coming in 3 weeks' time. When Saul comes, he will do it. So the problem here is, it's not just because Saul didn't come, but they had created their own human timetable or time limit, and they were constrained by that time limit, because Samuel said he's going to be here in a week's time. Samuel is not here, therefore it's a delay. And that's what we normally do. So if Samuel had said he was coming in 1 month's time, it wouldn't have been a delay. So this delay was caused by they themselves. Human beings, we set our own time frame. And when things don't happen within that time frame, we begin to have problems. We say there's a delay. When in actual fact, maybe in God's timetable, there's no delay. Everything is working according to God's plan for us. We say that I want to marry at age 26. I am 30 years, I'm not married. So there's a delay. Then I begin to shake. The question is, has God told you that you are supposed to marry at age 26? Is it God who told you? So if God hasn't told us, why are we allowing that time that we said to make us panic and think that there's a delay? Our timetable is different from God's timetable. And we might think that we want it this way, but sometimes God knows for a very good reason why he thinks that we shouldn't marry at this time, but he's delaying it for a reason. Sometimes you think that, I want to have a child at this time. And God, for his own reason, he says, no, not this time. But because we feel that, as a woman, if by 40 I don't have children, I'm not going to have children. This is societal and medical expectations. And when we don't meet those expectations, we think that there's a delay, and we begin to complain, we begin to shake, and we take things into our own hands, and then we do things that we are not supposed to do. But we should always ask ourselves, what is the plan of God for me? In God's timetable, where do I stand now? And when we understand that God has a perfect plan for us and is working things out for us, we will not be constrained by our human timetable and our man-made timetable, and based on that, determine that there is a delay, and allow the delay to cause, anxiety and fear and panic and doubt in us, and cause us to do things we are not supposed to do. The last thing I want to discuss from this scripture, it says that just as Saul had finished sacrificing, just as Saul had finished making the sacrifice, Samuel appeared. Whoa. That means if Saul had waited just a little, maybe he wouldn't have committed that error. Maybe he wouldn't have committed that sin. Maybe he wouldn't have made that mistake. Sometimes we think we have waited too long. I can't wait any longer. I've waited for 2 weeks. I can't wait any longer. I've waited for 1 year. I can't wait any longer. And so it's like, you know what? God knows. Let me go and do it. And then we go and sin. And then we go and commit a big mistake. And just when we are done, then the breakthrough comes. Just when we are done, then God shows up. And the sad thing is that when it's happening like that, we can't even enjoy the breakthrough, because we have already committed a blunder somewhere. We have sinned. We have messed up already. We can't. So it pays to wait, no matter how long it will take. Because trust me, there is nothing as nice, as wonderful, as sweet as waiting for God's timing and allowing God himself to do his own thing in your life, to bring you that breakthrough, to bring you that result. That is wonderful. So please, delays will come. But when we are going through any form of delay, don't let us take things into our hands like our great brother or great grandfather Saul did. Let's not take things into our own hands and do things we are not supposed to do. People will go and sell their body for money because there's a delay. People will go and bribe to get a job because there's a delay. People will go and even divorce to go and get green card and all that. But it's all because we just decide that there's a delay. But I pray that from today we will understand that God has a better plan for us. And it is not every delay that is bad. It is not every delay that is evil. Sometimes God is working behind the scenes and to give us the best. So please hold on tight. I don't know how long you have been waiting, but I know that God will come through for you. So don't give up. Don't give up. Don't compromise your faith. Hold on tightly and you will see the glory of God in your life. Shalom. Please share the video. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye-bye.